McMorrin is the Labour MP for Cardiff North and joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning.
What will happen next for Labour then? Because we've seen the votes last week, there were splits within Labour as well as the Conservatives. What do you hope, what do you think Labour will be doing next over the next few weeks?
Well, look, we're coming together to try to prevent this deal going through of Theresa May's, this so-called deal, and also prevent a no-deal scenario, which is going to be the worst of all possible scenarios. And we've seen already the impact that this threat, this uncertainty is having on our economy, on businesses, on jobs, on people, families in my constituency who are worried about this.
We'll come on to that in a moment then, but on this issue of a deal and no deal, wouldn't it have been better for Jeremy Corbyn to have been at least met with Theresa May at an earlier stage to try and discuss this rather than refusing to meet her until no deal was off the table?
Well, look, I think he did all he could to say we absolutely don't want a no-deal scenario, which would be catastrophic for the economy. And we're all very, very worried about that. I'm glad he's met her now. He agreed to meet to discuss the future. I just think that at the moment we need to extend Article 50 and seek to putting this deal back to the people with the option to remain.
The problem with that, though, is having another referendum. There isn't a majority for it in the House of Commons to get it through, and isn't the danger then that, as you're saying, is the clock's ticking towards March 29th, you're just wasting time here rather than trying to get a better deal?
Well, I think the people who are wasting time are the people in the government, Theresa May's government at the moment. We are now days from crashing out with a no deal. Now, that is irresponsible governance of this country. That is leaving our companies, our public services, families, people depending on those jobs really uncertain and worried about their future.
Yeah, but then why are you talking about another referendum, which is unlikely to happen, rather than focusing your efforts on trying to get what you would call a better deal through?
Well, what is that better deal? Theresa May's deal is not really a deal. It's a deal in name only. It actually leaves us uncertain about the future. It leaves us renegotiating, negotiating for years to come. There's a transitionary period, but nothing on the future is settled. She is willing to put the future of Northern Ireland peace process at risk. Our security is at risk. The Home Secretary just this morning has been saying he won't give any guarantees about the security of this country if we have a no deal in just a few weeks' time. Now, that is a very worrying position for us to be in, and one we shouldn't be in, and that is down to this government.
But isn't the problem that you've got is so many people voting for this another referendum are doing it to basically overturn the result of the last one, rather than accepting that the people voted to leave the EU?
Look, I think we know now a lot more than we did when we voted 2.5 years ago. The evidence is there. There's a deal on the table. I think now the responsible thing, the democratic thing to do, is to put that back to the people, for the people to say, do we want that? Do we want that deal that Theresa May is putting towards us
so the choice should be Theresa May's deal or remaining?
Or the deal that we have already as full members of the European Union, which in my view, is the best deal that we possibly have with the European Union.
There's talk this morning about a possible general election. And that's still Labour's main focus will be on trying to get a general election.
Yeah.
I just wonder, what would be, and what will be, in the event of an election, Labour's position on Brexit?
Look, we've said we want the... Labour is saying we want to stop this deal that Theresa May has got.
But what
full access to the single market, customs union, the Keir Starmer's 6 tests, which he's clearly laid out. I personally will be campaigning to remain as full members of the European Union, to put this deal back to the people.
So you'll be campaigning to remain a full member?
I will.
Even though the manifesto will be saying something different?
That is what my constituents want me to do. That is what my constituents, that's the basis on which I was elected to be a member.
But the basis on which you were elected was on a manifesto which said you will respect the referendum result, and you're not doing that. You say you want another one and remain.
I feel that now, 2 years down the line, 2.5 years down the line, we're in a different place. We had a referendum that people were lied to. We know that there was fraud committed during that campaign.
sorry to...
We're in a very different place now.
Sure.
I think that we have a duty to put the
But
deal
you're saying,
that is
yeah, okay.
now on the table back to the people to have. Now
Sure,
that
but
is
you're, but you're
that's
saying,
a
sorry,
high-risk
just one point,
strategy, actually,
just on the point
because-
of an election, you're saying that you would campaign on something that would be different from the Labour manifesto?
Well, we don't know what the Labour manifesto is going to say at that point. I'm saying, my view, representing the people of Cardiff North, the people of Wales, the people who voted, but we need to be looking and safeguarding the future of our country, not saying what is best for our own personal needs.
And you'll be saying that regardless of what's in the manifesto?
Well, we don't know. As I said, we don't know what's going to be in the manifesto yet. Now, I'm having conversations all the time with the Labour leadership, with Keir Starmer. Now, and I'm confident that we'll be able to position ourselves that we can campaign against this horrific. We know we don't want this horrific deal. We don't want a no deal, which would be the worst for everybody.
Clock's beaten us, but thank you very much for your time
Thank you.
this morning, Anna McMorrin. And that's all from us from another week. Wales